I'm flying through the air. I'm tracking down my SnortBucks brew. I saw you take my can, now I'm coming after you.
Oh shit!
You say it wasn't you.
I didn't do anything wrong.
But if it wasn't you, then who? Tell all the lies you want, I know you stole my SnortBucks brew. We're fighting in the air. Your hand gripped tightly round my SnortBucks can. Let go of what you stole and take your beating like a man. Now I'm falling through the air. I can see the spot I'm going to land. I'll hit the soft snow down below with my SnortBucks brew in hand.
"2024 is stacking up to be one of the most, if not the most, interesting year that I've ever been on the internet for me and possibly you."
Oh, look at that.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome.
Oh my God!
If you had just learned to laugh at yourself a little earlier on, then it would never have gotten this bad.
Oh boy, as we're etching closer and closer to Goutmas, the excitement's in the air, I'm sure. Season's greetings and happy holidays from everybody here at GTG Network and Productions, Snort Report, DSPNEWS, SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, especially during the holidays, and all of our subsidiaries and affiliates. I hope you guys are all doing well. Now, at this particular point, as you know, we're not keeping count on where we're at. So, you know, whatever it says in the title is where we're at. But for me, we're getting deep in, we're starting to get into the deeper waters as it pertains to the recording or recordings. Things are working out pretty well. Pretty happy about that. I've already, in my off time, if you will, I've kind of already thought about or laid out, or I have a layout, let's say, about how I want next year's to go. So that might be cool. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to give anything away yet. But yeah, I got some ideas. We'll see how it pans out, but life comes at you fast. Either which way, welcome to 12 days till Goutmas. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. And season's greetings and happy holidays once again. And let me not hold off really any longer. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, I understand that, you know, some of these have been or maybe you guys have noticed that there's been like 2 videos for some of these broadcasts as it pertains to the Mighty D ones in particular. And there'll probably be a few more when we get into our third and final content creator that will be helping us out here with Goutmas. Excuse me. But hopefully you guys see the method and the madness, and they vary in length, so it is what it is. So let's go ahead and move from this outpost, or this overlay, rather serene to say the very least, very holiday, very cheerful. Let's go ahead and move to this. Presents, gifts. Everybody loves that. And with that, I have 3 gifts, all brought to us by Mighty D. So that's the thing. Go ahead and read out these to you. Let's see. First video. I'm glad that I had people here to mark these for me. This way I don't accidentally read out the wrong ones and give out the the actual way these things are going to get posted. Okay, so 3 videos, all brought to us by Mighty D. Big ups. Let's see. First one, DSP tries it. DSP tries it, admitting he can't hit sub goals and won't play games. Oh shit! Can't play games or won't play games on hard. This is from July 15th of 2018. Second video. DSP emergency. Yet another partnership, or losing yet another partnership. This is from July 21st of 2018 in the third. And final video, kind of round out this episode of Goutmas, will be DSP tries it. It's YouTube's fault. I made multiple ADSense accounts and the curse secret. This is from July 26th of 2018. As you guys know, all links will be down in the description. Boy, as we get closer to Goutmas, starting to get closer and closer to that holiday dinner, to that Goutmas dinner, you know what I'm saying, that I'm known for around the parts and whatnot. All kinds of delicious pork dishes and whatnot. I mean, yes, turkey's great, duck is great, and all that's going to be on the table. But let's be honest, most of y'all are here for the ham. Most of you guys are here for my holiday pulled pork, which I've made legendary over multiple years, and everything else that entails. On top of the fact that because we're getting deeper into the weeds with SnortBucks, or with Goutmas, first 4 rounds of SnortBucks is on me. You guys know the routine on that. Just leave your flavor of choice in the description or whatnot, or in the comment section, and I'll serve it up. So you guys know how that kind of plays out. Fun times to be had. Yet again, season's greetings and happy holidays to all of you guys. And let's not hold off any longer. Let's get to the fun. Let's get to why we're all here. Yum, yum, yum. Let's see here. It just announced all these things. Should have it right here. I do. Here we go. Wow. All right, haven't completely failed. I haven't completely failed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And let me do this right now so it's easier for the editor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the first video that will make up our countdown to a Goutmas broadcast. Brought to us by Mighty D. DSP tries it, admitting he can't hit sub goals. Sorry. Admitting that he can't hit sub goals and won't play games on hard. This is from July 15th, 2018. The link will be down in the description. Womp womp. Here we go.
First of all, today, my friends, Persona 5, yes, ooh, yes, Persona 5, baby. Oh, you know you love it. Oh, excuse me, I got a burp coming, hold on. Excuse me, I felt that coming, and I want to get that out of the way. And ladies and gentlemen, it's official right now. I'm updating the subscriber goal. We're about halfway through the month, and it's pretty obvious that since there's no new games out, there's no way we're going to get 485 subs back. So, I'm updating the subscriber goal. Ladies and gentlemen, the sub goal for this month has been lowered to 450 subscribers. Okay? 450 subs.
Ah, the classic pushing the goalpost back when we couldn't hit sub goals. You guys remember that? This is classic. You know how he used to stick to a sub goal, and if they didn't hit it, oh well, guys, we'll just have to do the sub goal again next month. I can't, if I give you guys a sub goal and you guys are 50 subs, 25 subs, 10 subs short, then what's the point of having goals? I'd be wasting all of our time. So we'll just have to hit it next month. Pockets all the donations from that current month that they didn't hit, and they just keep it moving. Then he started getting, there was a bit of a revolt over that. People felt like their money was just being wasted, and it was really in DSP's benefit to not hit sub goals. He tried to tell people that it wasn't. He tried to say that he had this special event planned out for them or whatever. Everybody wanted to see it, and if we don't hit the goal, we're shortening people. We're people are being ripped off. Not ripped off. People are going to be poor for not being able to have the event that everybody's going to be excited for. He himself, because he's hoping people are going to come out and give him money and all that. So instead, he tried to appease people by lowering the goal. Lower it by 25, lower it by 50, shit, sometimes lowering it by 100. You know what I'm saying? And the structure of it was pretty straightforward. If he had 500 subs the first month, right, then it was 550 or 600 or 650 the next month, because there were stretch goals are a thing too, just like what he does on Patreon. Excuse me. And that was basically the scheme. But if it was looking shaky around the 15th, 17th, the 20th, then that's when shit used to get lowered, which is really him just going back on his word. But remember, he was raised Roman Catholic, and they have morals and values and yada 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 yada. Here we go.
I just did it right now on the fly. There you go. So yes, it's still a stretch, but it's very doable. I mean, we had over 500 subs not even a month ago. Okay, so for those of you who want to see this 10 years of Rage anniversary event happen, please consider subscribing to the channel. Once we hit 450 subs, the event will be happening for sure. Maybe we'll see a reinvigoration by the end of the month while I'm doing survival horror stuff, when I maybe start Vice City, etc. Maybe we'll see a big surge of interest, and maybe some people will come in and sub that haven't yet, and we'll be able to hit these goals. I'm very confident we could. It's just that people, typically around the summertime months, there's a lot of people who don't come by because they're here. They're the kind of people that only like to watch me play new releases. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. But I'm definitely thinking that, we can hit these sub goals, 450 and 475. All right, the readjusted sub goals as of right now. Okay, shout out to a goof called Woof. Okay, and he cheered 50 bits. He says, play Silent Hill 2 on the hard difficulty field to make it more interesting. Now, actually, this is what I was just about to address. Some people on social media, and now it looks like a goof called Woof, have called for me when I play Silent Hill 2 next week to play it on a harder difficulty.
Well, yeah, it should be challenging, and through that challenge should be entertainment, to be honest. But DSP was so scared of this, even at this time, he was deadly scared of fucking this is how you don't play, that he didn't want to do anything that would give him even the remotest amount of pushback at all, or resistance at all. Like, it couldn't happen. It wasn't a thing. Oh my god, the fear, baby, the fear. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, when you look at, not to say that I could ever make a Mount Rushmore for detractors, but if I did, obviously Evil AJ's up there, obviously Tevin's up there, and obviously you have to put This Is How You Don't Play up there. If you don't want to put an entity or a creator behind it, I would put The Outsider, personally. But if you weren't going to put a creator behind it, then This Is How You Don't Play itself obviously has its representation, its image, it's whatever you want to call it, has to be up there. It has to be up there. You know what I'm saying? It has to be up there. Holy shit. And theoretically, you couldn't really make a Mount Rushmore for detractors. Like, that's incredibly difficult to put 4 people or 4 situations or entities or circumstances up there. That's incredibly difficult. That's incredibly difficult. You know what I mean? Because, like, if you think about it, to various levels, people have contributed their bit. Now, there's obviously people who have contributed more than others, and there's various ways of trying to determine that. But and everybody's going to have their opinion on who should be up there, or who shouldn't. But if you did have, like I said, put 4 people or 4 particular situations that really have affected Dark Side Phil, that should be on a detractor Mount Rushmore. I'm just going to say that I can't do it. I don't know if, I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I don't think I'd be able to. I think that's incredibly difficult. And because there's a lot of people who have contributed in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how small they were, they eventually turned out to be very big things, and so on and so forth. So I don't know. That's rough. And theoretically, and I know I'm catching myself in the fact that, well, wait a second, you're gonna put Evil AJ up there twice, and it's like, well, yeah, because not only did Evil AJ do This Is How You Don't Play, right? But then sorry, I had a glitch in the Matrix there. But then Evil AJ also has, I should say, on his mantle, notable incredible wins against DSP in Super Turbo. DSP's game of choice, the best game he's ever played, and the one that he's the most notable about. Evil AJ's completely and utterly crushed the mythos that Darkside Phil was good in that game. Now, if you want to go ahead and make like an FGC like Mount Rushmore and whatnot, and I'm cool with doing that, and I'll put Evil AJ up there too. So Evil AJ can go there, and if that's the case, Goji goes up there too. Obviously, Goji goes up there. And fucking A, we can put Raw Phil up there too. We can put Raw Phil up there too, given the fear, the absolute terror that Raw Phil has instilled into fucking DSP as it pertains to Cammy or Cammy players in general. DSP doesn't even see names anymore when it comes to Cammy players. He just assumes they're all Raw Phil. You know how fucking scary that is for him? And then, this is the real icing on the cake that most of y'all haven't caught yet. And I'm not saying that I've spoken to Raw Phil on this level, so I'm not saying that this was his plan or anything. But the fact that Raw Phil keeps all of his FGC or his fighting game streams up there, and you know DSP has gone back and watched the Street Fighter ones. You know he's gone back and tried to study his Cammy play to try to find holes in Raw's game and whatnot, and even some of the guys that Raw plays with. And he still hasn't found it yet, so he's still getting owned. He doesn't even look at Cammy as a player. Cammy and Raw Phil are the exact same person. Like that. He doesn't even look at them as separate entities anymore. That's how mind-fucked he is. And that right there is indicative of what Goji Tanks, or Goji as I affectionately call him, big ups to Goji, did to fucking DSP when it came to Super Turbo. Now, most of you are going to immediately go to Sean, but if you guys have watched enough of Goji's footage over it, Sean's Alex is fucking fantastic. His Alex is absolutely fucking fantastic. His Sean is legendary, but his Alex is brutal. Fucking brutal. Absolutely beautiful. The literal definition of beauty and chaos. And then you have Evil AJ with all the torment that Evil AJ has brought to DSP and Super Turbo with multiple characters. I mean, we'll save that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's something that I may attempt to do at a later time. I may make a video and actually bring the fight footage there so you guys can see what I'm talking about. That might be an idea. That sounds like a great idea, actually. But as it pertains to an actual detractor Mount Rushmore, I think that's incredibly difficult to put anybody on, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, OGs have to be on it because they laid the groundwork for the rest of us. So there you go. But as in for like an FGC Mount Rushmore, I mean, we can open up slots. We can do something else. We can definitely add more people to it because there's a lot of people that deserve to be on that shit. For sure. But definitely Evil AJ for Super Turbo, Goji Tanks for Third Strike. And keep in mind, Goji gave DSP the business in Super Turbo for a little while too. And obviously Raw Phil for Street Fighter 6. But then you could also put Piece of Peace up there as an honorable mention for Street Fighter 6 if you want. Because he gave DSP the business, as well as others. There was a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of people that laid it down in all those games respectfully. So anyway, we'll keep pushing, but let me brainstorm for a little bit. Here we go.
I guess people are feeling that since I did play it 6 years ago, and I was successful in that run, obviously, and I enjoyed the game. That basically I should... Hold on a second. I'm being annoyed. Arrgh.
Oh, that picture. Holy shit.
Okay. Sorry, my phone was vibrating. It was annoying me. Let's try this again. Since originally 6 years ago, I played Silent Hill 2, and yeah, did I die? I did, and I had some difficulty, but it wasn't exactly the hardest playthrough I've ever did. It was some challenge, but not massive challenge. I remember there was 1 or 2 parts I raged at, but, for the most part, it was an enjoyable playthrough. It was more confusion than anything else, because I didn't know where to go or what to do. But I guess some people want to see me play it on hard. I don't know the difference between standard difficulty and hard difficulty. I don't know what the difference is between the two. And so, since that's the case, I couldn't say actively, oh, yes, I'll play it on hard. If the game ends up becoming so gruelingly fucking difficult on hard that it's going to just not be an enjoyable experience, then no, I'm not going to do it. So, I don't know yet. We'll have to see. maybe I'll do some research online and see what people say about hard versus normal. What are the actual differences between them?
Now, this is the same guy who used to bash people online who gave their opinion about games, and who used to tell people or call people who follow those people sheeple because they couldn't formulate their own opinions about stuff. They couldn't just do stuff on their own. They had to rely on other people for their opinions, for how they base their decisions, so on and so forth. And look at him right here, and then go ahead and measure that up to what's going on in the current day. Absolutely fucking hilarious. Holy shit.
Or maybe for some of you, maybe some of you guys know the difference. Maybe you've played Silent Hill 2 on regular and hard difficulty and you know the actual significance between the two. Let me know. Because would I consider playing it on hard? Yes. But am I committing to that before I know what the hell I'm doing? Hell no. Because I don't want to have to screw everything up and then start over again, okay? So we'll see. We'll see. It's a possibility I'll play it on hard, but I'm not promising that, all right? Shout out to Lord Lamb, tipped me $2. It says, do you think it'd be a good idea to add a retention sub goal? An example of a retention goal being you retain the same amount of subs as you gained the previous month but failed to make the main sub goal. Well, I guess what you're saying is, for example, I would like to maintain a certain level of subs on this channel, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, for me, as you guys have seen, the channel fluctuates. I'd say the right now, about the lowest that it goes that I've seen is around 375 subs.
It was actually 350, but whatever. Whatever.
Highest I've ever been was 550. So, you know, we fluctuated between those depending on what games I'm playing. But overall, in general, I do feel that the baseline sub number is going up. It's just that it gets artificially inflated every few months when a big high-profile game comes out and people come and sub and people gift subs and the
right
like.
Side,
okay.
Viking.
So, that being said, like, I guess the question would be, what would be a good baseline retention goal? Like, if we keep at the same level we're at, you know, this happens, right? The thing is, if I was going to do a retention goal, the way it would have to work is that it, unlike my goals now, it wouldn't be, oh, we just hit the number. So I'll give you an example. Right now, the subscriber goal is 450. If at any point during July we hit 450 subs, I'm going to be doing the 10 years of Rage anniversary event, okay? The retention goal would have to be a goal that you strive to hit to retain a certain amount of subs by the end of the month. So it would be...
Why are you re-explaining a question that was already posed to you? He's not actually answering the question. He's literally beating around the bush, so to speak, which I can understand why Panda left, and I can understand how Cat got fattened up. But, like, answer the man's question. And the reason why, he does it for a couple different reasons. I used to think it was just, generally, he was just doing it because to manipulate people. But I honestly think he doesn't understand the question. So what you're actually seeing him doing is cycling the question in his head and is trying to rationalize it in real time. I honestly think that's kind of what it is now, or at least that's part of it. I used to think he was just doing it to just waste people's time and to kind of just talk in circles. Now I'm thinking when he does talk in circles and he speaks out of both sides of his snout, outside of the fact of him lying, I think he's trying to rationalize the question in his own head. So this way, when he gives his answer, it can't be disputed. It's not something that a detractor, troll, hater, or critic can spin to make him look bad, if you will. But he has to understand the question first. I honestly think that's what the situation is, which is actually kind of strange because, you know, DSP literally, I think as it pertains to DSP's ability to learn, I think he can learn. I think obviously he has the ability to learn and he has the ability to retain, but he can't actually utilize it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you told him to read this chapter and then give him like 5 or 10 questions based on what he read in that chapter, I think he can answer those questions, but he wouldn't be able to use it in a conversation. He wouldn't be able to use it in like a debate. He wouldn't be able to have a practical use for that information outside of answering the questions or being able to do a particular task, very specified, that's put in front of him. Other than that, the information's useless. I really think that's how his mind works. So him being valedictorian at that school that was really was fully and utterly directed towards athletes, it makes sense, to be honest with you. He's autistic enough, and I believe that his parents regimented him in his studies in such a way that he can read the information, he can retain it, and he can spew it back on paper, and that's it. But that's just my thoughts.
like, on July 31st, if we still have 415 subs, I will do this. See what I mean? Because you can't just have it be, oh, if we hit 415 subs anytime this month, because we're already at that. You see what I mean? So we'd have to figure out a way to make it work. The question would be, what would that goal be? What would be a good number? And what would the goal be? Like, what would the reward be? I don't know. You know, we could maybe talk about it. I'm all ears if you guys want to give me ideas. What would be a monthly goal as a retention goal, that by the end of the month, if we retain a certain amount of subs, we celebrate? And basically that's...
Why should you have to celebrate over retaining a certain amount of subs? Like, why should you guys be celebrating over that? You see how he has to try to turn everything into a celebration to get people invested into actually doing it? And that's where you see his head start to... The gears, very small gears, by the way. But the gears in his head starting to turn on how can he turn this into the scam? And how can he get it to stick?
Kind of the baseline celebratory goal that we're going to hit every month. You know what I mean? So what would be a fun thing to do every month that's not too strenuous or whatever, but it's still a fun way to celebrate, right?
Imagine you going to an alleged gaming content creator and streamer, and this streamer's demanding, not even begging, I mean, it's begging, but demanding to give him money each and every month. And then he has the nerve to turn around and say literally in the next snort, whatever the goal or celebration is, which is what he is putting an emphasis on, not the audience, him. He's putting an emphasis on there being some type of celebration for it. It can't be too strenuous. He can't do anything that's essentially out of the norm for the celebration for you guys giving him money. If it's not psychotic, I don't know what is. Holy shit.
Real Sammy Samosa cheered and said something that I don't understand. He says, "Would you consider yourself more of a something or something else?" And I don't know what these two terms mean. So I actually don't even want to read it out because I don't know if these are like insulting terms. I have no idea what these terms even mean. So what I would say really...
Oh, that was a funny time too. People would throw words and phrases at him and like he didn't know. And which is fine. It's not like, you know, I expect him to have a dictionary next to him or him to read the newspaper or, I don't know, for him to actually talk to real people outside of his everyday life and shit, like IRL. I get it. He has his shortcomings. But instead of taking a minute to, I don't know, hit Google and see what that shit meant, he just automatically assumed that it was bad, so he would just ignore it altogether, which is fucking hilarious. And that right there is indicative of who Phil Burnell is as a person. New things scare him. Changes scare him. You know what I mean? And anything that is outside of his comfort zone, it has to be bad. Because if it wasn't, he would be doing it. According to his thought process, of course. It's really, really fantastic. And that's why he bashes everything. Anything new, any suggestion that's given to him, he bashes it. He has to. Because it's a defense mechanism. Because he feels he is so insecure that if someone presents something to him that he doesn't know about, in a quote-unquote field that, theoretically, he should know about it, he immediately feels stupid. So now he has to bash that idea, or he has to outright ignore it, to make himself feel less vulnerable. But then he's so lazy and stupid, he won't even go and look the shit up to see what it is. To see if it could benefit him, or his audience, or his community, if you want to say he has one of those things. Instead, he would rather stick around and be stagnant. So that's why when DSP runs around now talking all that bullshit about I'm trying to change, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, and he's wondering why it falls short because there is no real, what's the term I'm looking for? It's a half-hearted attempt to try to make up for years of laziness, and it's falling flat. I don't know if I could put it in, well, actually, I know I can put it better than that, but that'll do for now. Instead of striving to be the best content creator he can be, he instead is willing to pay or be carried to what is considered the bare minimum for the time. Not even the standard, just the bare minimum.
Sammy Samosa is, if you really want an answer to your question, I know you're here because I saw you in the stream chat earlier. Okay. Explain what you're talking about in the stream chat. And if I get more elaboration on what you're talking about, then I'll feel more comfortable answering your question. But when I don't know what the terms mean that you just said, last thing I want to do is start addressing something I don't understand and insult someone or get in trouble. So please, if you're still here, in the stream chat. Let me know what the hell you're talking about. Okay.
Sammy Samosa. That was an interesting one too. Matter of fact, I was looking for some of the videos that he made towards Fred from SOK, and I found some mirrors for it, but I can't find the original. I'm not even sure if that dude's original channel is even around anymore. I'll have to take a look. I know originally when I was looking at some of those clap videos that he made against Fred and SOK about, you know, hey, you guys said you guys are here and exist to get DSP, you know, off the platform and out of pocket, and you guys still haven't done it. I mean, you got to give Sammy some credit. Like, a lot of the shit that he said eventually came to pass. To be honest with you, I'm not going to give him a lot of credit, but I will say that he had some decent insight at times. I will say, especially as it pertains to the character of some of the people he was going after, or whatever. Not all of it, but some of it. Some of it did actually come to pass, which is kind of crazy.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Good times all around. All right, so big ups to that. That's our first video. Let's go into our second video. Let's go into our second one. As things are getting delicious. Let's see here. Okay, what is this one? This one is DSP Emergency, losing yet another partnership. Holy fuck. Oh shit. I'm so excited. Anyway, this is from July 21st of 2018. Yet again, the link is down in the description. And we are now 6 days removed from our first video. 6 days, bro. I'm telling you. Life comes at you fast. Here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry that I'm doing this. I had no plans to do this whatsoever, what I'm doing right now. Basically, at this point now, I have to make it public because now
Something has gone horribly wrong.
to the point where I'm not even exaggerating, like I don't know what's going to happen. So here's what's going on. And I didn't want to talk about it publicly at all. I just want to make this perfectly clear.
Just like that bankruptcy, right? Just like our taxes, right? Just like us losing the house, right? Semantics.
I didn't want to bother you guys with this, but now I have to, and it sucks, okay? So as you guys know, I have a partnership on Twitch, here on Twitch, where I live stream, and I have a partnership on YouTube for my YouTube channels, right?
But what happened?
Well, here's what happened, guys. As you know, DSPGaming is my main YouTube channel where I upload all my gameplay videos, and I do so on a daily basis, and this has been the channel for 8 years, over 8 years, where daily I put my blood, sweat, and tears into putting out gameplay footage for you guys, and I've had various ways to make money over the years, partnerships. First, I was partnered with Machinima, and then for the last year and a half, I was partnered with Curse Network, okay? Basically, in a nutshell, without going into too much detail,
His ass got booted. Let's cut the bullshit. Enough of this piggy blue balls type shit. He got booted. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? They decided to go ahead. He already had the rope around him. The noose was already around his neck, and they decided to string his ass up. That's what happened.
I'm not partnered anymore.
and this was in the works for a long time. Like, this was actually something that I had multiple discussions with Curse about, and it was actually an amicable way that we were going to end our partnership.
I do believe the fact that this was something that happened a while ago and whatnot, and they decided to keep him on for a couple months so he could figure out what the fuck he was going to do. If you don't believe me, look back at the Machinima situation. They gave him like 30 days. They gave him either between 30 and 90 days to get his shit together. And that's when he did that white shirt begging video, begging for someone to help him find another MCN, which ended up leading to Curse, which I am formulating the theory that Review Tech USA may have had a part in helping DSP get on Curse, or maybe even recommended it to him. I don't have enough evidence behind that yet, but it's a work in progress. But because Rich had an affiliation with Curse for a bit. But I do believe they did reach out to his ass and say, hey, we're going to end up letting your dumb ass go. So we'll give you X amount of time to kind of protect your content or whatever, and then you got to figure out what the fuck you're going to do. But because there was no managed partnership for him on Curse, theoretically, and this goes into my secondary theory, they may have just actually had booted him that day. someone was probably revving his ass up, telling him, hey, we're going to have to let you go at this time in the month because of the issues and problems that you're having. You may want to start, figuring out what your next move is going to be. My assumption is, just like with Curse, Machinima, DSP basically begged and pleaded and whatnot to not get thrown off. And to back that up, I've already done a video on this. Sometime later, DSP actually admits to what actually happened, how he got booted off, what the situation was, how he basically was begging and pleading for them to not let him go. So on and so forth.
It wasn't any hard feelings on each side. It wasn't like I was mad at Curse or Curse was mad at me. Not like the Machinima situation last year at all. Okay? It wasn't like that whatsoever. Okay? It was very, very...
Well, yeah, the Machinima situation you fucked yourself on. That didn't have anything to do with Machinima. Machinima told you to fall the fuck back and whatnot and go ahead and just do your streaming or whatever the fuck until they figured out what they were going to do on their end. He was still being paid. He was just getting paid a whole lot less. When he ends up going to Curse, guess what? He was still being paid less. He may have had a larger percentage of the pie, but his viewership had tanked anyway. On top of the fact that he was encouraging people to not be so invested on YouTube, or in YouTube, I should say, and go over there and support him on Twitch. So he literally was kneecapping himself from Jump Street. If he had just shut the fuck up and let those people at Machinima do their damn job and just go to Twitch, which was what he was planning on doing anyway, and just go over to Twitch and start streaming, it'd have been fine. At least for another 18 months, maybe 2 years. Instead, he was greedy, he was stupid, and he sat there and he fucked over everything. For nothing. Literally got nothing out of it. Nothing.
Different situation. And the bottom line is, I could get into the specifics of why the Curse partnership ended. I don't necessarily think that it's going to benefit anyone to tell you the reasons why.
It basically is a financial decision.
Let's put it that way. As you guys know.
And the moment he said that, I remember when he said this. The moment he said that, I immediately said he wasn't making them no money. Which is clear. His views were shit. His views were shit. His views were shit when he was on Machinima. Before they booted his ass. So clearly that's what the situation was. Now, he wasn't making them any money. I think the whole troll reporting thing is a thing. I don't think it was as financially strenuous on Curse as he tries to make it out to be, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? He lies about everything. He'll do whatever he can to make sure that detractors, trolls, haters, and critics don't get any recognition or any acknowledgement for the bad things that happen in his life until it's beneficial to him to actually, bring that point up. So take all this shit with a fucking huge grain of pink Himalayan salt.
No, my channel on YouTube isn't huge anymore, DSPGaming, even though it brings in between 1 and 2 million views a month, right? It's not generating tons of revenue. And keep in mind, a partnership network takes a very, very small cut of what you make ad revenue wise on YouTube. And basically, just put it this way, no wrongdoing on my end or their end. It was just, they decided that, that was going to be the end of it. Amicable break, I guess is what you would call.
Now, this right here, kind of, see, in the current timeline, Kino Casino hasn't dropped Phil yet. At least at the time that I'm recording. But sooner or later, it's going to happen. And sooner than later, DSP is going to have to figure out what he's going to do. Because he's not going to retaliate in an angry sort of way at first. At first, he's going to try to play it off. He may even downplay what they're saying, whatever. Because, he loves Triple P. And Andy is his gaming soulmate. Or whatever that means. So, I don't see him downplaying. I don't see him getting super angry at it at first. But eventually, it'll build up. His ego's really going to get hurt. Depending on how Kino Casino deals with it. And then maybe we'll start seeing some fucking fireworks. We'll see. But what you're seeing here is more than likely the cope that DSP is going to have if shit ever goes down with Kino Casino. It will sooner than later. I just can't predict when.
Okay. I've been having a lot of stress. I've been having a lot of problems. I say personal problems. What it is, like at night, I can't sleep. I'm thinking, man, what's going to happen when DSPGaming isn't partnered with Curse anymore? And I have to run my own personal ads. What's the big deal? What's it going to be?
But I thought you were making the majority of your money and income off of Twitch anyway. Now, all of a sudden, this little bit of money on YouTube, his words, not mine. This little bit of money on YouTube's keeping you up at night? Yikes.
A giant difference in ad revenue? I don't know because I've never done that. You know what I mean? So here's what happened. I'm not even kidding. as I was doing the pre-stream today, I went to check my emails, and it said, oh, you know, okay, your channel's been released. Okay, fine, DSPGaming's been released. So I went on a break quick before I started gameplay. I said, all right, I'm just going to link it to the ADSense and get the ads enabled in bulk, and we'll see what happens. I go to the channel, and it says,
DSP Gaming has been is not valid for monetization because of invalid click activity.
now,
That's what happens when you play the motherfucking system. That's what happens when you sit there and play the motherfucking system. You fuck around and you find out. The only difference is DSP didn't sit there and have a 1 million sub channel. Uh-oh, looks like I'm harkening back to something that happened in recent times. Right, Rich? Right, Rich? The DSP had all of his channels essentially associated on the same ADSense account. He didn't feel the need to go ahead and delete his shit. So that makes me wonder, Rich, what really happened over there, buddy? Because, you know, the more I think about it, the more people I ask about that shit, seems kind of weird that a channel with 1 million subs, at least a third of those things were bought, but semantics. It's funny how a channel with 1 million goddamn subs couldn't reach out to someone at YouTube and actually get some shit done. Seems kind of strange that a channel with 1 million subs didn't reach out to Keemstar or any of the fucking YouTuber insiders that are on Twitter that are publicly well known and shit, and try to reach out to them and see if they can smooth shit over so RTU streams doesn't get fucked over in the crossfire and whatnot. Instead, you just went ahead and shot across the bow and fucking destroyed your own other, you know, your other sister ships and shit. Seems kind of strange. Not even sister ships, your flagship. Like Review Tech USA is legitimately the flagship. It's literally your fucking bread and butter. So that seems strange, bruh. It seems weird. But then it does also explain all of the fucking view bots over there on RTU streams. That it all kind of comes full circle when you think about it, because it's not like you make money on ads on RTU streams. It's all through, essentially, or at least the majority of it, is all through fucking your any tips or donations you get actually on stream. See, like when you really think about that RTU nuking his channel shit, it don't sound right now. It seems it didn't sound right then. It was just laughable. But now that my laughter has subsided slightly, and I'm actually trying to think about it rationally, which is not something that I do a lot of, it makes me wonder. Maybe that's something I can address next year as well.
wait a minute. 5 minutes ago, I was with Curse Network, and ads were enabled on the channel. So it's obvious that's not the case. There is no invalid click activity whatsoever. What I think happened is that the channel was linked to an invalid ADSense account. And allow me to explain.
Well, where did the invalid... Put your hook down when I'm talking to you. Where did the invalid fucking account come from, Phil? How the fuck do you have an invalid ADSense account, Phil? See, this is what should have gotten him deplatformed altogether. I'll never understand how he skirted the rules like that. Like that should have gotten all of his channels nuked off of YouTube just outright. You're running around here with you're out here with dummy AdSense accounts, bruh? Alright, B. Alright, bruh. Oh man. Oh, look at this stubby little hoof. God damn.
Explain the situation because it's very confusing. Alright, it's very confusing. And I want to explain what happened up front. Last year, YouTube instituted a new policy that if you were going to be partnered with any partnership network, you needed to have a personal AdSense account created and linked to your YouTube channel. All right.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure you weren't skirting the system like his dumbass did. Because if you guys know your lore, when this idiot begged fucking Hutch for a job to get back on Machinima, he didn't have an AdSense account because that got fucked over when he asked people to hit the ads on fucking, what's it called? King of Hate HD and whatnot. That's what caused him his ass to go to Blip. And then he fucked everything over at Blip, as well as the opportunity to be on that guy with the glasses. Well, their subsidiary, which is their gaming subsidiary, which was Blister Thumbs. He sat there and fucked that opportunity up, and then got booted off of fucking Blip over that fucking Dead Space 2 fucking demo bullshit. And he was fortunate enough that he could just be taken into Machinima, and he didn't have an AdSense account. Here's my real gripe, though. If you want to call it a gripe. All the years he was on Machinima, which was like 6 or 7 years, you never thought once to reach out to Machinima and be like, hey, I had some problems with my AdSense account a couple of years ago. I was wondering, could you guys reach out to YouTube on my behalf and smooth that out? I haven't had my own AdSense account for a number of years. Could you see if it could get reinstated? I won't need it because I'm with you guys, but just in case. I'm sure someone could have helped him with that. Why didn't he do it? A couple of reasons. One, he's lazy. Another reason, stupid. Third reason, he doesn't think in the long term, and he's inept, so that's 3 and 4. But the fifth reason may make a little bit more sense outside of me just spitting fucking straight fire at his ass and shit. Because I'm riled up on this SnortBucks. I think the real reason why he never reached out to them to ask if they could fix his problem is because he thought that would be enough to get him kicked off of Machinima. Or even lose his managed partnership. Oh, wait, you have a past of doing dumb shit? Man, we might have to reevaluate you. And this is at a time and place where they had cut DSP's income a couple of times. DSP had been underperforming on Machinima for a number of years, right? And there's plenty of evidence out there to prove this. So he doesn't need to become, well, in his own mind, he didn't see the need to come to him with more dirty laundry and be like, can you guys help me with this? When he's already underperforming, like he does with Cat and Panda in the bedroom. He's already underperforming on their platform. That's the reason why I think he never asked him. He didn't want to bring any more trouble his way. So because of past Phil mistakes, current Phil is gonna basically let himself be stagnant and is digging himself an even bigger hole for future Phil to try to figure out what the fuck he's gonna do. And that's how DSP, Darkside Phil, and Phil Burnell, the triumvirate of fucking failure, keeps failing itself or failing himself. Each one represents a portion of his past. Each one of them keeps making mistakes, and each one of them has to deal with the bullshit in some way or another. Because even past Phil gets screwed over. DSP keeps talking about, I have this huge legacy on YouTube that people don't appreciate, people won't talk about, people won't acknowledge. Because these assholes today that keep talking about me. Truth be told, the more of past Phil shenanigans that come about because of the stupid shit that current Phil or future Phil ends up doing, past Phil is the one who has to eat all that shit. He's literally chipping away at his own legacy and he don't even realize it. Isn't that amazing? Because the shit that see, like, on the internet, it's a kind of Johnny-come-lately type situation, right? Very few people are acknowledged for what they did in the past. It's really all about what you're going to do tomorrow. But if you're someone who puts an emphasis on your legacy, right, which is what you've done in the past, and what you may do moving forward, you need to try to protect your past as best as possible. You need to be mindful of what you do in the current day, that it doesn't hurt what you've already built or what you've already done or what you've already contributed to. I know this seems wild coming out of me being as unrational motherfucker as I am, but consider this a moment of clarity right before the sugar actually hits. You need to be mindful of those things, and DSP has never been mindful of that at all. He's quick to tell you about his 10 years, 15 years, his 16 years, whatever the fuck. But when you start getting into the nitty-gritty on what he's actually done, you don't want to talk about it. He just wants to tell you that I've been around for a long time. Doesn't necessarily want to tell you about what he did. Something to think about.
And once it was linked to your YouTube channel, then you could get partnership through a network. You couldn't just link to a network at all anymore. They completely changed the policy. Okay? Now, they did this. All right? They did this. During a time when I was leaving Machinima and I was going to get partnered with Curse Network.
Well, you weren't leaving Machinima, you got booted. On top of that, when he signed up to Curse the first time, before the Fotabi Laveri Media saga, the Honey Dicking saga, when he was over there with Curse the first time, he could have asked them if they could straighten the shit out for him. And they probably could have. Still didn't do it. He was so desperate to just be under someone's blanket that he didn't think about what the long-term ramifications of his mishaps in the past were. So yet again, it's current Phil fucking over past Phil, and then future Phil has to somehow deal with the shit.
So I already went through this initial setup where, man, I had to create a new ADSense account, link it to the channel, have it show as valid, then get linked to Curse Network. And I did that. I did that last year on DSPGaming.
So why the fuck did you leave to fucking Fotabi and Laveria Media knowing damn well you already committed fraud? Because he's admitting that. He's admitting that he committed fraud to fucking get on Curse in the first place. Let me bring that back. Oh, fuck. And I try not to do that during these, during Goutmas, because if I do, we're going to start getting deep into the weeds and these things are going to start turning into 3-hour fucking normal broadcasts. But fucking A, bruh. Fucking A. Yet again. Anyway, like I said, this guy should have gotten booted years ago. Years ago, they should have already shut down all them channels. given that bullshit. Holy crap! If that was anybody else, they'd have taken the hit.
Time when I was leaving Machinima and I was going to get partnered with Curse Network. So I already went through this initial setup where, man, I had to create a new AdSense account, link it to the channel, have it show as valid, then get linked to Curse Network. And I did that. I did that last year on DSPGaming, and I got linked with Curse, and everything was good for the last year and a half that I've been with them. I had not a single problem. However, okay, excuse me. What ended up happening in the last year was that dummy AdSense account that I linked to DSPGaming got deactivated. Okay, now I don't know why. I don't know if YouTube looked at it and said, oh, well, Phil already has an active AdSense account over on his vlogging channel, right? So he can't have 2 AdSense accounts. So we need to disable this.
Why the fuck are you running around with multiple AdSense accounts? So wait a second. The original AdSense account he didn't get back. Well, he said he ended up getting that back later, actually. He said he got that back. He did actually say he got that back later. Because I think there was a thing on YouTube at a time where there was like they essentially gave amnesty to a bunch of people who didn't actually beforehand apply for it. So he may have somehow gotten that back. But then he was still running around using the dummy AdSense account when you already got your original back? Or he was already using a dummy AdSense account and then made another one for Curse. So this idiot potentially was right. Man, I wish I was actually looking at some of the videos from back in those times, because I know I've gone over this. So this idiot had between 2 and 3 different dummy AdSense accounts around that time, before he eventually got his original one back. Or he already had his original back, and he's still running around making other dummies. He's still running around making other dummy AdSense accounts for his other accounts. Jesus Christ!
This one, but they basically disabled the AdSense account that was associated with DSPGaming. Now, I didn't know that. There was no way to know that because I was linked with Curse, so I don't even get to see that association on my YouTube panels or channels or anything like that, okay? So, what I think happened is once Curse said, okay, we're releasing your channel, it defaulted back to that old AdSense account, and that AdSense account shows as suspended, so now it just locks the channel and says you can't monetize any videos anymore on DS.
Okay, well, that right there proves my point. So he didn't have... His original AdSense account was still suspended. He made a dummy one for Curse, but then you still had another AdSense account floating around? What the fuck were you doing? Okay. Whatever. And yet again, why didn't you ever fucking try to get the original AdSense account reinstated? Why didn't you do that? Eventually they did, allegedly. Because I do actually distinctly remember a group of YouTubers that were talking about that shit. And I think they may have even released like a newsletter or something out on that. Think about it. All right, semantics. The point being is, why didn't you ever fucking try to get the original one reinstated? You knew that you had your original link to the account. And you never had that fixed, so you run around doing dummy shit? Damn, crash dummy behavior, I gotta tell you.
Gaming. So what does that mean? That means literally no ads. No ads on DSPGaming, okay? I can't put any ads on DSPGaming right now. So literally any video you watch on DSPGaming has no advertisements unless a third party claims the video. And that means I went from making...
That explains why he was so desperate not to get kicked off of YouTube, off of Machinima. And explains definitely why he was so desperate not to get kicked off of Curse. But he never thought, in all the periods of time that he was with these two MCNs, of rectifying his original fucking AdSense account. God damn, what an idiot.
Sell money every day to 0. Literally today, 0. All right?
This sucks.
The bottom line is that...
I mean, your ineptitude is what fucking hurt you with that. Yeah, it sucks that you were fucking a lazy bastard and you couldn't do anything for yourself or your so-called business. Literally running everything on a goddamn shoestring.
I can't find another network. Number one, I doubt another network would take me. And number two, another network cannot partner me unless the channel shows as valid for being monetized, which means I need to get the ads re-enabled on the channel. I don't know if I can. I don't know. So what I've done, there's an appeal form, and I filled out the appeal form and said, listen, I don't think that you guys disabled this for invalid click activity. You couldn't have, because it was active until I delinked from Curse. What I think happened was...
But it was a dummy AdSense account, because you already have one and it's already suspended, and you can't have two AdSense accounts, retard. That's why they got you. But he wants to play this particular narrative in the hope that they're like, oh, well, maybe we did make a mistake. Let's go ahead and reactivate it. Like, they're not going to go and look at the other AdSense account that's already suspended. Jesus Christ, Phil. People are not as fucking moronic as you are. It's just not going to happen. You're just lucky you were able to slip through the cracks.
There's this invalid AdSense account associated with the channel. I don't want that AdSense account. I have a working one over here that I...
Oh, so get rid of my old one that's already suspended. Get rid of that and let me have the one that you guys deactivated. But wait a second, Phil. That's your original one linked to your social security number and all that bullshit. Where did this other dummy one come from, Phil? Whose social security number is linked to this shit? Whose information is linked to that one? Uh-oh.
I want to associate with the channel, right? And I want to do that, but there's no way to do that. The channel just says not valid for monetization because of invalid click activity, and there's no way.
And if you go back to when his original AdSense account got nuked, there's someone made a video on this. I want to say Mr. Huffstuff did, or it was either Mr. Huffstuff, David Davison, or Mighty D. They made a video about this back in the day, and they took old footage, or they found old footage of DSP talking about when he lost his original AdSense account, because someone had asked, or he may have just came up with the idea of, oh, well, couldn't I just make another AdSense account? And he's like, you can't. You can't have two different AdSense accounts with the same amount of it, with the same information linked to them. It's not something you can do. So yet again, how did you fucking make these dummy AdSense accounts then? Makes you think.
To fix that. So I filled out this form explaining that and submitted it. I don't know if that's going to have any success. I have also made an email to YouTube creator support explaining the situation, and I sent that off. But here's the major problems. All right, here's the major problems.
Now here's another thing too that you guys aren't thinking about, and I know he's not thinking about it either. But if it was on YouTube's fault, if it was YouTube's fault on the mistake they made for banning his original AdSense account for the invalid click activity or whatever, why isn't he putting that into his appeals? And I know he didn't put those into his appeals because he's not saying it. But why didn't he do that if it was always their mistake originally, which forced him to go to the MCNs in the first place? I'm just asking.
Number one, all right, YouTube probably will not respond in a timely manner because it's the weekend, and I don't think they even have people who respond to this kind of stuff on the weekends.
I mean, why would they move in a timely manner for a fuck up that you made? That's not their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. They did everything correct. Why would they need to move on your time frame?
They very much have this kind of 9 to 5 Monday through Friday mentality. Even though for emergencies maybe they'll have someone, but I don't know if anyone's going to review this case and respond over the weekend.
Maybe that's what happened, you being on under Machinima's tip for so goddamn long. You didn't never learn how to fight for yourself. That's what it was. You never learned how to fend for yourself because you always felt like there's people to back you up, or you always tried to align yourself with someone that could always help you or whatever, and you never learned how to stand on your own too. Now look at you, panicking like a bitch, on top of the fact that it's the weekend on YouTube. Of course there's going to be little to no one to deal with your nonsense. Bitch, you're going to wait till Monday morning like everybody else. Well, everybody else within reason.
Number one. Number two, what do I do? Now, let's say, for example, DSPGaming can never be monetized again, and it's nothing I did wrong. There's no actual invalid click activity. It's just their default nonsense that they say on there when something goes wrong, I guess. What do I do? Right? Like I told you guys.
I rely on YouTube ad revenue to pay my bill. I cannot continue to afford what I do if I don't have YouTube ad revenue.
I guess you're going to have to learn how to budget, bitch. I guess you're going to have to learn how to budget, bitch. That's what you never did, by the way. I guess that's what's going to happen.
I could create a new YouTube channel, and I could start uploading videos there, push everyone to the new YouTube channel, and then enable that YouTube channel with my working AdSense account. But you know what's going to happen? It's going to be like pulling fucking teeth, getting people to go from the old DSPGaming YouTube channel to the new YouTube channel. It's going to be an absolute nightmare to get people to go from one to the other. It is. It's just going to...
Wait! Okay, the original YouTube channel was already suspended. The second one was deactivated by YouTube, which is why you can't use that. So now you're talking about... Holy fucking A, that's what I love going through over the old shit. Now you're talking about creating a third account, a third YouTube account, and potentially a third AdSense account and trying to link it towards that. Like, they're not going to go back and check the other two that are already either invalid or are already suspended or is already suspended. The fuck?
Be a total nightmare, okay?
And by the way, I don't know where the mods are, but I see a bunch of trolls in the stream chat who I'm not going to get rid of.
Get rid of them then. What the fuck? You need mods for? Do your own work.
Hold on a second. Let me take care of this quickly. And because of that, now the channel can't get ads, which is stupid. If there's an invalid account associated with a channel, they should let you disassociate. Like, oh, unlink it here. Link a valid account by clicking here. They don't do that. It just says, oh, because you have the invalid account now.
So I was right. He literally has 3 accounts. We got a suspended account, we got an invalid account, and then he has the new one that he wants to link to. Why was this not enough to get him deplatformed? That right there should have gotten him deplatformed. If anybody else had done that, they'd been gone. What the fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad he's here because he's been a very reliable punching bag. But Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ!
Can't put ads on your videos, period, which is stupid. That doesn't make any fucking sense at all, right? Another option I could do is just say, screw it, I'm just not going to monetize my gameplay videos on YouTube anymore, all right, and go all in on Twitch, all right? Now, that would suck because, like I told you guys, I support people who have supported me over the years on YouTube. It's you.
How are you supporting people by putting up content on YouTube when you've been trying to funnel people over to Twitch since the fall of Machinima? Whatever, I'm asking too many questions.
The YouTube audience that made me who I am and gave me my internet notoriety and allowed me to do this for a living because they're the ones for 10 years have been watching my stuff, right?
People will speculate and make up shit, and you could do that as much as you want, guys. Seriously, okay?
See, you don't see the snort sacks here. Sorry, because I'm looking at these little bends in his face, and I'm thinking back to what Silent Weapon said. Big up to Silent Weapon, and happy holidays, man. Happy holidays to all of you. And I'm not seeing the snort sacks here. So, I mean, we'll wait until he brings his snout up, and then we'll get a better look at it. But in 2018, I'm not seeing these snort snacks, bruh.
You can do whatever you want. And
What is this, like crouching snorts, hidden fucking snouts? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like hidden sacks? What the fuck?
and say whatever you want. But the bottom line is that this was a situation where this negative stuff is
Like, I'm not seeing it. Like, I guess you could kind of see, like, the outline of it. You can't see my mouse, but you can kind of see the outline of it, maybe. But it's certainly not as pronounced as it is now. Fair enough. Fair enough. It was the fucking snort sacks that got away, I guess.
happening, and I didn't create it.
It's not like, oh, Phil did something wrong, and now he's being punished for it. It's nothing like that at all. And this is why this really sucks. All these situations I've been in recently, there's not a situation where Phil did something wrong. I'll fess up. You know, when I do something wrong on Twitch, I insult some guy on stream for his physical appearance, which I shouldn't do. Okay, I did something wrong. I'll take that. I'll take the punishment for that because I did it. You know, that's something that I lost my cool.
That's not you fessing up to it. You got hit. And then you cried and bitch and complained about why did I get hit. Then when you found out you got hit, you were like, oh, well, they should have notified me first instead of just taking my stream down. They should have allowed me the opportunity to tell my stream audience what was going on before they took me offline. He didn't take responsibility for that situation. He begged, bitched, and fucking read his whole way to that suspension. And even then he got that shit knocked down. You know what I'm saying? What was supposed to be an indefinite suspension turned into like 48, 72 hours. What the fuck?
Cool. And I did something wrong. This is a situation where, once again, I've done...
And that's kind of the reason why, that's one of the reasons I should say, why Twitch is all fucked up now. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't let too many people skirt the line so much that everybody kind of expects it. Like that shit with Alinity that happened a few years ago where she ain't done her dumb shit and whatnot. I think that was maybe the boob thing. And they weren't going to suspend her. She went on Twitter and literally was like, yeah, go ahead and just give me a suspension and whatnot. I'll take one. And they gave her like 3 days or the weekend. And she's like, all right, I'll see you guys Monday. She asked for the suspension, though. They didn't just hand it to her. They weren't going to even discipline her. She had to ask for it. The fuck?
Absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever. And I'm getting punished like I did, you know? And again, now I'm reliant on YouTube to look at this situation and say, oh, well, this is extenuating circumstances. You know, he doesn't want to enable the ADSense account that's linked to DSPGaming. He has a new valid one that he wants to link with it. We need to basically unsuspend the channel so he can delink and relink the proper thing. And I don't know if they're going to do that. They may just look at it and say, oh, well, our automated system says this and it's done.
So, literally, what's happened is a revenue stream has now been cut out and stolen from me, and I've done nothing wrong. I didn't do anything to lose it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, nothing was done wrong. I've been completely screwed over here by an automated system that doesn't work. I mean, it's so stupid. Why last year did I have to create a dummy AdSense account in order to even get a partnership with Kurt? It doesn't even make sense, right? It literally makes no fucking sense that I had to do that.
Right now, I'm making no money on YouTube at all. All right? And this is terrible. Like, right, I mean, okay, a few days, that's not a big deal. A few weeks, that's a big deal. A month, I'm fucked.
Here comes the money.
Oh man, that's so good. All right, now and it's still not even over yet. Still got one more. Okay, so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the third and last video that makes up this episode of 12 Days of Goutmas. Yet again, brought to us by Mighty D. DSP tries it. It's YouTube's fault. I had to make multiple AdSense accounts and the curse secret. Holy shit. When was this one? This is from July 26th of 2018. The link will be down in the description. And just for those who are keeping track, we are currently 5 days removed from video number 2. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh boy. I sure know how to pick them. Here we go.
Oh! So right now things are very uncertain. You know, I don't know what's going to happen in my future because of everything going on with YouTube. Obviously, if I get any more updates for you guys on what's going on with DSPGaming, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, all these videos will be recorded off of my streams and uploaded to KO Gaming. Okay. Android did a standard cheer and says, if your AdSense is banned, how is your KO Gaming one have AdSense? I don't get it because my AdSense is not banned. Here's what happened. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what happened, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I have always had a personal AdSense account. That's fine and works. Okay. I've had it for years, actually. I've had a personal AdSense account that was fine and worked. But
So why did we never use that one? Semantics.
I was always partnered with another company.
So this idiot's literally saying that I had a dummy AdSense account since the original one that originally got shut down or suspended, I should say. Since the original one that got suspended. I've always had a dummy AdSense account. Instead of just, I don't know, once you got partnered with Machinima, work through Machinima to try to get the original one unsuspended. Try to get it fixed. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Straight up breaking the law. Or breaking terms of service or whatever the fuck.
Partnered with Machinima, then I was partnered with Curse, so I didn't matter. But last year, I decided to partner my vlogging channel, the King of Hate Vlogs, just under this normal AdSense account. Because I didn't want to go seek out another company. Curse didn't.
Was it was it your normal AdSense account or your personal one? I'm just going off of his words. I'm just trying to figure shit out. Because off the last video, we've confirmed that there's at least 3 accounts. There's at least 3 of them.
Want to partner it because vlogging channel has nothing to do with gaming, and Curse only partners gaming channels. So the vlogging channel was just kind of out there, and I didn't want to seek out another company to partner it. So I said, you know what, I'll just do it under this normal AdSense. So I did, and for a year and a half, my vlogging channel's been under normal AdSense, no problems. Okay. But what happened was I had to make another AdSense account, which obviously you're not supposed to have more than one, and I know that.
And you know that, but you did it anyway. So yet again, he's only confirming what we learned in our last video, that there's 3 of them. The suspended one, the first dummy one he made, or personal one, and then second, and now another normal one that he has. Jesus Christ.
Last year, YouTube made this weird change, and it was YouTube's fault, where if you wanted to partner with a partnership company, any company, you know, Curse, anyone else, you had to have an AdSense account associated with your YouTube channel. Now, the problem was, when they first made this change, which incidentally was when I needed to partner with Curse, they screwed it up. They didn't put any option in to link an existing AdSense account. You know, it didn't exist. They're idiots. I don't know what else to say.
Wait, what? They said you need a working and valid AdSense account. You have one, but you're saying that under the option to partner, there wasn't an option to put your existing AdSense. That literally, legitimately doesn't make any sense. But all right.
They are. That was an idiotic thing. Let's institute a new change on YouTube, but not actually test it to see if it'll work the way that we intend. And of course, it didn't. What it did, it forced you to make a new AdSense account, no matter what. As stupid as that sounds.
Yeah, it is stupid because it don't make any sense. There's no way that's true. There's no way that's possible. There's no way that's possible. All right, whatever.
That's what it forced you to do. So if you had multiple YouTube channels, at that point you were forced to create multiple AdSense accounts. It was YouTube's fault. that this happened because they forced this change. So that's exactly what I did. I made a second AdSense account and had it linked to DSPGaming just for like 2 days or something.
Something's off about this because remember, like, let's take all this into consideration. There's one account linked to DSPGaming, but that one's suspended. We have another account that he made that was his personal account that's linked to King of Hate Vlogs. Then he has another account because he couldn't get his vlogging channel partnered on Curse. Now we have a third account that he's also trying to link. Oh fuck!
Just so that I could eventually have that.
Wait, so now that I think about it, what AdSense account was linked to KO Gaming?
That linked to Curse. Okay. So, that being said, I then linked with Curse. Never had a.
Wait, now that I think about it, I need you guys to. You're gonna have to get deep in your lore for this. So when you go back to the Fotabi, Laveria Media saga, the Honey Dicking saga, basically. If I remember correctly, when he signed up with them, he only signed up one of his accounts. He didn't sign all three of his channels to that contract. He only signed up one of them to it because he said that when they sent him the contract, there was all kinds of mistakes. Addresses weren't right. YouTube channel URLs weren't proper. All kinds of shit that was all fucked up. So he only linked one of his channels to it. And if a huge mistake did happen, he thought he could use that as a pretense to fuck Laveria / Fotabi over to give him what he wants because they made a mistake in the first place. If you guys know, you know. Tevin definitely did a restreaming of all that too, so you can definitely go over there and verify this. So with that being said, what dumb shit? He was doing something on purpose to try to catch YouTube fucked up. He was trying to. I mean, he was definitely lying, but he was definitely trying to scam them in some type of way. Now, my question is, what was the payoff? And I'm thinking he was trying to force them into. He had to have been trying to force them or corner them into unlocking his original suspended account. And by saying, hey, how did you guys approve me for these two secondary dummy AdSense accounts if I already have my information linked to the main one that's already suspended? That's the only thing I can think of he was trying to pull. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment because I don't see any other exploits at that particular time. But then again, that doesn't make any sense because yet again, how the fuck are they letting him run around with multiple AdSense accounts? This idiot, by his own admission, is saying that he basically had an AdSense account for each channel that he had. Damn, I kind of want to go back and watch my old shit now just to see what I thought about it back then. But that's wild now that I'm thinking about this in hindsight. All right, let's continue. I may see. That's why I like doing this shit for Goutmas still, but goddamn, it makes me want to go back. I may have to go back and reevaluate old sagas just to give it a second look, just to give it like a, just another once over. That'd be fun, actually, I think. Yes.
Problem at all. Okay? Never had a problem. And, year and a half on with Curse, everything's good. Then,
I'm depressed.
after, Curse says, well, let me put it this way. It was, like I said, it was an amicable break. It wasn't either party was angry at each other and neither party was like, oh, you did something wrong or anything. It wasn't like with Machinima. With Machinima, it was the complete opposite. I was really fucking ripping pissed at them, and I said, I want to get the fuck out of here. All right, with Curse, it was an amicable break. But I said, all right, what I want to do is just go into a normal AdSense account, right? I just want to go back, the one that I already have against my vlogging channel. That's what I want DSPGaming to be under. So, well, as soon as Curse unlinked the channel, it said, oh, your AdSense has been disabled for invalid click activity. And I'm like, now wait a minute. How could my AdSense have been disabled for invalid click activity when it was never active? The fucking AdSense account was never active. I was under Curse for a year and a half. So you're telling me there was invalid click activity against an AdSense account that wasn't active against the channel. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. What it sounds to me like is that YouTube's process was broken from the start. That you would create an AdSense, you would link with the network, and then while you were linked with the network, the AdSense would fuck up. It would have errors and shit because it wasn't set up properly, okay?
It wasn't set up properly? You mean the fact that it was invalid from the beginning because you already had a suspended AdSense account linked to you? He's literally trying to blame the system for something that he did. he's literally telling people this in real time.
Now, here's the thing. If it were a situation where it said, oh, this AdSense has been suspended because you have another AdSense. Okay, that would have made perfect sense to me. That would have made 100% sense. And I would have said, okay, let's just get that resolved. Just tell them, look, I have a valid AdSense. Here it is. This is what I want against the channel. Delete the other.
But they wouldn't have done that, though. They would still have questioned you on how did you get it? Why did you make another AdSense account when you already have a suspended one? It's not as easy as he's trying to make it sound where, okay, the invalid one, get rid of that and take this other dummy one that I had that is valid and use that one. That's not going to work. They're going to just go back and be like, why do you have 3 existing accounts here? Well, there's not 3 existing accounts, dude. There's only one because one's suspended and the other one's invalid. How the fuck do you have 3 accounts here? They're still going to ask you that, and he don't really have an answer for it. That's not a YouTube problem, unless he has the nerve to turn around and say, your system allowed me to do it, dude. Holy shit. God damn, son.
One. I don't want it. I didn't want it to begin with. It was because YouTube forced me to make it, right? But that's not the situation. That's not the situation at all. So that's why I'm shrugging, and that's what YouTube is confused about too. Like when I
see, this is what happens when you try to play stupid and you think you can get over on people. This is literally what happens when people play stupid. The shit always comes back to them. It may not come back to you right away, but it will eventually come back to you. You know what I'm saying? If you fuck up, it's best to just come out and admit it. Instead, if you try to hide behind reasons and excuses and act like straight bitch, eventually that's just going to come back to you so bad that you can't really do anything about anything. Wow.
I contacted YouTube on Friday about that. Their representative said to me, yeah, I don't know why this is invalid click activity because, he said, if you've never used it, that makes no sense. And that's why we got to get an answer from our AdSense internal team. So, yeah, it's not a situation where I have deactivated AdSense accounts. That's not the situation. The situation is I have a working AdSense. I've had it for a long time. But for whatever reason, this AdSense that was supposed to be a dummy account, dummy AdSense, all right, that was supposed to be a situation where I was supposed to just be able to switch AdSenses and be fine. But for whatever reason, they locked it for a completely different, seemingly unrelated reason. All right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on a response from YouTube. Excuse me. Well, we're waiting on a response from the AdSense team. Okay. The AdSense team about what the hell is going on here. All right. We're waiting. So we'll see what happens. I guess we'll see what happens. That Anana Bunny also did a 100-bit cheer. He says, why would you want to leave curse if it was amicable? Oh, I didn't say I wanted to leave curse. I certainly never said that. It's like I've told you guys, I can't give you the exact reason because actually if I told you 100% the exact reason of what happened, first of all, you guys once again would be blown away and upset. I know you would because I'm fucking blown away and upset at the real reason. But basically telling you the real reason wouldn't help anything. And it might even potentially cause more harm than good. So I can't fully tell you the real reason.
What he's really saying is, I don't want the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics to laugh at me and mock me before the fact that I wasn't making curse any money. That's really what it was. That's why he waited so long to try to figure out a way to make it seem like it was the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics' fault. That's the first thing. Secondly, there was also a time where he was trying to say that he was under that he was like under some type of NDA or some shit. I think he tried to say the same thing with Machinima too, that he couldn't explain the real reason on what happened, which is all fucking smoke and mirrors and bullshit. There are plenty of people who got kicked off of Machinima and literally posted the emails and shit on why. So fuck all with that. Once the financial aspect of it has been dissolved and once you're off that platform, no one gives a shit. Cucks say shit like that when they think they can try to go back. And I don't know why you would want to go back to a situation that you were removed from, to be honest. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If it was really unjust, then you should definitely get compensation, but you shouldn't go back.
Reason for anything, all right? But what I can tell you is this, in general, partnership networks are basically under big heat and big fire from YouTube. Because for a long time, partnership networks were just literally accepting every single person under the sun. They wouldn't screen the content of the people they were signing. They wouldn't be held responsible if someone under the network did something wrong. Like, they really wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, when you're a partnership network, here's what's supposed to happen.
Projection here. Being that he ain't done his fair share of shit wrong and he never got disciplined for it, or at least not as severely as maybe he should have anyway.
All right, here's what's supposed to happen. Okay, they're supposed to review the content regularly to make sure it adheres to YouTube guidelines, okay? And if it doesn't, they're supposed to take disciplinary action, meaning punish that partner, release that partner, whatever it is. And apparently, and again, this has nothing to do with me, by the way. I should say this specifically. This has nothing to do with my case. This wasn't me. This is in general, apparently, what was happening across YouTube recently. Apparently, a lot of partnership networks were just basically signing every single person they wanted just to make as much money as possible. And they weren't really doing the work they promised YouTube they were going to do. Okay? So, because...
I mean, there was a major financial advantage or incentive for MCNs to sign everybody they could. Like, don't get me wrong. So there's that. But there was also some type of, like, built-in incentive for an MCN to have as many people as they could as it pertains to their standings with YouTube. I mean, Laveria and Fotabi, that whole saga actually kind of proves that. If you go back and listen to the old SOK streams that went over this, and they were talking about how they were trying to build a network, and when you're a small one like that, you have to be selective on who you can pick. But once you get to a certain size, then you start getting into managed partner status, or an MCN can provide managed partnership because of the incentives and the however they've worked out a contract with YouTube. So there's kind of a reason why they did that. It's kind of like now, for example, in our current day and age, you're seeing a lot of this oil money out of the Middle East start to come into esports. And then now you're seeing these esport teams, like, well, at least for a while, they were trying to sign a lot of these esports teams, like Evil Genius, Complexity, so on and so forth, were picking up all of these like Call of Duty Warzone players and whatever, right? To try to bloat their roster, to make the roster and make these leagues seem a bit more sizable and had a bit more reach. And so they could get some of this money that was coming in. It was like $3 million a team. Some were making even more than that, depending on what the deal they were signing. The irony of it all was, after that particular 2 or 3 months or whatever it was, most of those players got dropped, or they got put into what's the term for it? They were given like reserve status. So basically the team didn't have to pay them unless they had an event that had something to do with like Warzone. And obviously professional Warzone, I don't think is going to be a thing because there's far too many cheaters and there's too many ways to exploit. It's just not, it's not practical. It's not reasonable. And that and collusion is a big thing. And that's definitely not going to fly. That's definitely not going to fly at all. This isn't boxing where, not everything, but most of that shit's fixed when it comes to big money shit. Like in esports, like that's a really punishable offense, because if there's no integrity, right, then that can tear a team down. You know what I'm saying? Fucking A. Wasn't Optic? Yeah, it actually was. Optic used to have like a team in India and whatnot, I think back in the day. Not too long ago, but it was definitely some years ago. And that shit completely got dissolved because of fucking one dude who fucking had cheats in, like, he had cheats hidden in his keyboard programming or some dumb shit. I can't remember how he did it now. But it was either in his keyboard or mouse programming and shit. And he was getting away with it for a while and through this tournament until someone figured out that something was off. And the moment they there's videos on this. And the moment they confronted him, he was immediately trying to delete shit. They literally had to restrain this motherfucker. They had to restrain this kid and whatnot. Dan had him in a chokehold to keep him from deleting the evidence. Because I think they were competing in a tournament in Asia. Wild shit, bro. Wild fucking shit.
Because of that, YouTube came down hard this year, especially after all the ad revenue has plummeted. There's not enough ads to go around. And YouTube says, listen, if you want to be part of our network and you want to get the best ads because you're a partnership company, you have to do what you promised you were going to do, and you have to screen the people, in your under your wing, right? You have to make sure that that everything is kosher, like you said you were going to do. Because I guess what was actually found was that some of these people who were big offenders, who were, oh, this person is making racist claims and terrorist claims in their videos, and they got ads on it. They found out those people were under partnership networks.
He's just regurgitating what happened during Apocalypse. It took me a second to catch it, but that's all he's doing.
It wasn't even like they had normal AdSense. They were actually partnered. And they were like, why the hell didn't this partnership network pick up on this, and take care of this previously? In reality, I mean, I never really knew that until recently. I guess one of the major reasons YouTube allows partnership networks to exist is because YouTube feels they're too big to police all the content on their website. So they feel that the policing of the content should be taken over by the partnership network. You know what I mean? If you're under the network, it's their job to police content on YouTube. And so I guess that's why they allow these partnership networks to exist. And now after a big audit, they realize they're really not doing a good job at all. And they slammed really fucking hard on partnership networks this year. So what that caused was partnership networks to then internally do really big kind of screenings on everything that's going on with their partners to find out, you know, who's profitable, who's not, who's a liability, who's not. And in particular, again, that's not my situation. It wasn't that I had violated any policy or anything like that. It was an amicable break with me. In fact, you know, Curse actually said to me, you know, we loved having you under our wing because for a year and a half you put out a ton of content and everything, and you know, you never did anything, you never got in trouble or violated. You know, the Atlas strike was a mistake, got reversed. You know, all the stuff that ever happened against DSPGaming was reversed. It wasn't anything that was negative. So they
didn't matter. You weren't making them any money, so who gives a shit? So you could go ahead and try to suck up to these people or try to make it sound like you and Curse actually had like a working and reliable and equal business relationship, but you weren't making any money, and that was why they let your ass go. And you sitting here trying to make it sound like they softened the blow before they let you go is just pathetic. Like, you know what I'm saying? As a grown-ass man, you should be able to take the hit and keep it pushing. Clearly you couldn't. So you have to say all this shit to protect your fragile little ego and your fragile little fucking glass house online reputation, which is absolutely fucking pathetic.
Said, you know, we want this to be an amicable break because we don't have any ill feelings toward you, you know. So it just kind of sucks that I can't tell you the real reason of what's going on behind the scenes, and I probably never will be able to. But basically, you know.
Oh man, this statement right here is so fucking true. Wins a round in Street Fighter 5. LOL, this guy's terrible. Proceeds to get double perfect by some guy. Oh my god, you're a fucking cheater. Oh my god, that shit's relatable even to today. Even till today, that shit is relatable and relevant.
We had to have a break, and you know, it just resulted in bullshit. Because you know, Curse even said, "Well, it's fine if you already, you know, if you already have other channels, right, under AdSense. We don't foresee you having any problems putting your DSPGaming channel under your own AdSense. We can't even imagine why anything would go wrong." And then, of course, immediately something fucking goes wrong. That's completely unpredictable. You know, really fucking stupid. Right? Really dumb. So
wait, so you're admitting that Curse knew you had multiple AdSense accounts? All right.
Oh, it is what it is, right? It sucks, but that's the situation.
Because Curse would have had to have gotten the notice that DSP had an invalid AdSense account. They would, like, someone from YouTube would have reached out to them and let them know that. Or at least I surmise. I suspect. Who could say? Who could say? When Machinima finally fell, dude, like, when some of those people were, like, explaining how the inner workings of that shit was, fucking it. I don't need to watch the June the King documentary to find out how fucked up it was over there. Like, I already knew that. Fucking A.
Situation. All right.
But I might actually go over there and watch that documentary just to see if there's anything in there that I don't already know. Because I'm sure there is.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Oh, man. All right. Big ups and thank you to Mighty D for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That is, there you go. That is our show for today and whatnot. That was fun. I gotta tell you, I had a really good time with that. I'm really glad I had a chance to go over that nonsense because fucking A. Giving it a second thought and actually hearing that shit back in hindsight really, that really opened my eyes to a lot of the holes that were clearly there. And I don't know if past GTG caught some of that shit. I'm gonna say no, I didn't. But current GTG's found some definitely is like, wait, what? So it makes me wonder. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, enough of all of my my blabbering. I've held enough of your time as it is. Yet again, season's greetings and happy holidays. Thank all of you guys for coming out. Big ups to Chio18 for making our holiday SnortBucks commercials, as well as all other assets that she's made for us over the years. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Season's greetings and happy holidays to all of you, and as well as our peers, so on and so forth. You know, supposed happy family bullshit that's supposed to be the DSP detractor community. Whatever. It's the holidays, so, you know, happy holidays to everybody, and so on and so forth. And, you know, thanks for sticking around and watching the content and whatnot. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys for the next one and our continuing coverage of the 12 days till Goutmas. Take it easy, people. Later.